Hello everybody, this is General Yanis, and today in Death Card Tactics I'm going to be reviewing the Nurgliest lists ever made for 2000 points. So there will be a lot of Plague Marines in the list, as you can see here from some of the art. So with no further ado, let's take a look. So today, the 18th of May 21, I've just primed my first Contemptor Dreadnought and assembled it, and it was first time assembling a resin model, so that was quite interesting, and I'm looking forward to painting it and of course to field it and make some mortal wounds with the twin Volkites. But let's see, now I'm trying also to find some magnets so I can magnetize the weapons for future securing the future of the Contemptor. But today the topic is a thematic list, and many competitive lists of Death Guard currently seem to bypass using Plague Marines for the strong combination of Poxwalkers as troops and Terminators as elite infantry. But I think personally that Plague Marines are such an integral part of the soul of the army of the Death Guard, and this video I will be looking at the massive Plague Marine centered thematic armies utilizing 7 squads of 7 Plague Marines, like very important for Nurgle that we go to the number of 7. A special thanks to my patron Sellers B for theory crafting the list with me and providing some input and some pictures I will show you later, and also comes with a list here. And of course, big thanks and shout out to all my patrons for their continuous support. So let's take a look at the Plague Marine lists. So the basic background, the idea for the list is to make lists with 7 squads of 7 Plague Marines. This is the numerological goal, keeping the sacred number of 7. Of course, 7 squads, 7 troops units are immediately causes problems in the game mechanics, because a battalion only can field the 6 troop choices. So we would need to take a bit more detachments to fit the 7 squads, but yet again, we're not strictly going for competitive lists here, more thematically strong lists. 49 Plague Marines would be costing a minimum of 1026 points, and this doesn't include their special weapons that should be taken also to add to the damage output of the Plague Marines. So of course, and basically having to take 2 detachments, we need 3 HQ choices as a bare minimum. A battalion and a patrol would be the minimum required HQ choices, but 2 battalions would require 4 HQ choices. So let's say around 1500 points or more will be taken by characters, and the Plague Marines with weapons. Probably with so many Plague Marines on the table, it's probably a good idea to bring Virion elite characters as force multipliers for the Plague Marines, and also thinking of ways to handle enemy vehicles, because there will not be a lot of room for anti-vehicle support units. Of course, this list and some of the others I've been reviewing before are based on the exaggeration promotes or improves understanding. Sometimes the lists shown here could be easily modified to be more balanced, and yeah, you could of course go with a bit less Plague Marines to have room for other units, but I will get back to that at the end of this video. So let's start with the first list proposal here. So 2000 points, 2 battalions, including 1 fortification. The army starts with 7 command points. Also a bit Nurgley here. This is the 2 battalions proposed by Sellers here, and the first battalion detachment is an Inexorable Plague Company, and this detachment is called the Lords of Corrosion, and you can see some pictures here of very nice looking, very corroded models. You can really see the corrosion in these models here. And the battalion consists of the HQ with Lord of Contagion, who is carrying fittingly thematically the Ferric Blight, Warlord trait for the -1 AP boost. The Malignant Plaguecaster takes Miasma's Pestilence and Putrescent Vitality. And the troops are 4 units of 7 Plague Marines. We have the champions equipped with Demonic Blade and Fist, Plasma, Blight Launcher, 475 points. One list only has say the one blight launcher for 157 points to save some cost, and then one has the melta gun. I think it's important to bring melta guns in plague marine only lists or very heavy plague marine, because there is not so much anti-vehicle weapons apart from the melee weapons. And here we have a cleaver here, and the troops are rounded off by 10 poxwalkers, and in the elite slot the Biologus Purifier to be able to do the upgrade grenades and help them their mortal wound output in melee. Also a fortification, Inexorable, the miasmic malignifier, probably a good idea, bringing malignifier with very many marines. It will be able to provide cover in the middle of the table somewhere, and it could spread the corrosion, it could spread the ferric blight contagions, and it gives also something to hide behind and provide some cover. So quite a good combo here, I think, the malignifier together with the plague marines. And then the other battalion is a Mortarions Anvil, the Knights of Barbarous, that have their own paint scheme here. So here it's led by a Chaos Lord, which has the Arch Contaminator Warlord trait for 85 points, a Malignant Plaguecaster carrying the Miasma of Pestilence and Gift of Plagues. In the troops, we have the remaining 3 squads of 7 Plague Marines. These are more melee oriented, so a fist for the champion, and then flails and cleaver and a melta and a blight launcher. And then also 10 poxwalkers here for holding backfield objectives. In the elite slots, the Foul Blight Spawn with Revolting Stench Vats, and the Tallyman with the Tollkeeper Relic. The Tallyman, of course, bringing CP to any army, and the Foul Blight Spawn is, yeah, these two guys are the best Virions, I think, and there is probably always a good case in bringing them, allowing fighting first, giving command points, exploding sixes, etc. So the army background story from Sellers here. His philosophy of the game is that the lore is the foundation of the whole game, and creating a lore for your own army and letting it guide the painting styles and the list decisions is sparking the creativity, and of course it can also help creating some very interesting and nice looking armies and good gameplay also. So his army story is that there is a war band called the Grim Paladins, led by a demon prince. This model here not included in the previous list at least. And once he was a psyker underling of Typhus. Now he is leading the war band of the Grim Paladins. And the Grim Paladins consist of the Knight of Barbarous and the Lords of Corrosion. So do different paint styles for the different, let's say, parts of this war band. The Knights of Barbarous are an ancient part, pre-heresy Death Guard units who were caught in a time bubble while on a quest for Death Guard relic, so they have more the traditional, let's say, colors of the Death Guard. The Lords of Corrosion are all former Iron Warriors who were exiled by their legion when they contracted the Ferric Blight Warlord trait, and of course now they are carrying the Ferric Blight Warlord trait with their Lord of Contagion. And the Knights of Barbarous and the Lords of Corrosion are led into battle by the Lord of Contagion, Chaos Lord, and Psykers, like we saw in the previous list. So very, very nice looking models and theme here for the armies. So here is my proposal for a 7x7 Plague Marine list. So this is 1 battalion and 1 patrol for 7 command points. Here I have selected for both to be of the Ferrymen Plague Company. I was thinking that with the Plague Marines taking a lot of Virion, the Ferrymen have this very good stratagem to extend the aura of a selected Virion. So this can be really a strong combo. The HQ choice is here, the Lord of Contagion, who's the Warlord with the Plague Reaper, and he has the Droning Warlord trait, being able to slow down enemy movement. Malignant Plaguecaster, of course, nearly all the lists include some sort of Plaguecaster, Miasma Pestilent and Gift of Plagues here. And then here in the battalion we have the 5 troops with the 7 Plague Marines here. 2 units of 7 Plague Marines with 1 Blight Launcher each. This is, let's say, a squad suitable to sit on the backfield objectives and providing some firepower. Then we have 3 squads of 7 Plague Marines, mixed squads with the champion has a power fist. There is a melta gun in the squad, a blight launcher, and a flail. So both shooting, anti-vehicle, let's say blight launcher, long range shooting, melta gun, short range, anti-vehicle. To add something, the flail and the power fist improve the melee capabilities of this squad. And then we have in the elite slots the Taliman with a Tollkeeper relic for exploding sixes, and we have the Plague Surgeon with a Fugaris helm relic, giving him a 6-inch aura of giving feel no pain ability to the Plague Marines surrounding him. And I think when you are bringing so many Plague Marines, probably if you ever gonna get your money your points worth of a Plague Surgeon, this would be probably a case. And here also bring some Chaos Rhinos to be able to transport the Plague Marines faster upfield. In the remainder of the Ferrymen here in a patrol, a Chaos Lord to save some cost, Combi Bolter and Chainsaw, just 85 points here, will bring in some rerolls on another part of the table than the Lord of Contagion. And we have the two remaining squad of 7 Plague Marines. Here we have 2 melee-oriented Plague Marine squads. The champion has a power fist. We have a flail, a cleaver, an axe, a mace of contagion, and 1 double knife. One guy here has still the bolter, and this is 188 points for these 2 squads here. And then in the elite slots here, we take the Biologus Putrifier with Arch Contaminator Warlord trait. The Arch Contaminator Warlord trait could also go on the Plague Surgeon to benefit from the Fugaris Helm, but I was thinking the Biologus Putrifier will be probably close to the Plague Marines, the melee Plague Marines, to be able to get the rerolls for the grenades and in the melee damage. And then the Foul Blight Spawn, of course, with Revolting Stench Vats for 75 points, closes off this list. So the strategy and general ideas for the list that I propose here, I think the strength of such an army would come from the sheer number of Plague Marines on the table, 7 by 7. So we have 49 models that have objective secure abilities, and they have the potential to do actions. And the idea is therefore to take objectives, hold them, be durable, and sit on the objectives here. As I said, the 7 Plague Marine squads are equipped in different ways. We have 2 full melee Plague Marine squads in Rhinos. I guess here it would be a good idea to put the Biologus Putrifier and possibly the Foul Blight Spawn going up together and disembarking, hopefully turn 2, and making some charges, taking out some enemies using the grenade. The Foul Blight Spawn can flame the opponents. They can hopefully make the charge, and then when the Plague Marines are fighting with the Biologus ability to make mortal wounds, that could take out even vehicles here. And then the Rhinos don't have a lot of duties after they deliver the content. They can be driving around, harassing the enemy, spreading contagion. Then the 3 mixed squads that have both shooting and melee capabilities. They have the flails and the power fist. They have meltas and blight launchers. Those 3 squads should be foot slogging, and their task is to secure midfield objectives. And here they are escorted by the main number of characters: the Lord of Contagion, the Chaos Lord. We have the Plaguecaster to protect them, the Plague Surgeon to give them feel no pain, the Taliman for +1 to hit, and the Tollkeeper to give exploding sixes. So these squads are important to take the midfield. And finally, the 2 least expensive, the shooting squads with only 1 blight launcher each. They secure objectives in the backfield and provide fire support or do actions as necessary. And of course, the stratagems for this list here, importantly, is the Ferrymen on droning wings to enhance the auras of importance. In this list, it's possible to give the Foul Blight Spawn a 12-inch deny bubble. The Plague Surgeon could extend with a 3-inch Philopane. With a Fugaris helmet, it becomes 6 inches, and then with on droning wings, you could get a 12-inch bubble of Feel No Pain for the characters and the Plague Marines. So it's I think that should be probably used every turn, hopefully with the extra command points that the Taliban will bring. And of course, grenade stratagems and using trench fighters in melee and other stratagems here to make this list even more damaging, let's say, or more dangerous to face. Regarding deployment and secondaries, I think in these lists everything should be starting on the table. No point in deep striking. There are not many units to deep strike. Secondaries that could be of interest could be, since we have quite a lot of units to perform actions, could be something with raise banners or deploy scramblers or spread the sickness even. The death card specific, but probably raise banners or deploy scramblers would be quite interesting. The ones doing the actions in the center, if the mission has an objective in the center, in the middle of the table. The death card specific despoiled ground could also be interesting because all units in this list are basically bubonic Astartes. So provided that you can use them in all fronts and in the center, and yeah, you can do, yeah, all the Plague Marines are bubonic Astartes, and maybe also domination, having an OBSEC heavy list should be able to take and hold some more objectives than your opponent. Some list metrics and the damage output baseline. So this Nurgley list with 49 Plague Marines is very strong in melee. That the Plague Marines have a good, especially with the flails and the cleavers, they have a very good damage output here in melee, so on par with some of the other lists that we have been reviewing in the channel before. And in the short range, the Foul Blight Spawn is helping, the Melta Guns come into action, but in the long range, this, let's say, 24-inch, the list is not very strong. We have basically only bolter fire basically we have bolter fire and blight launcher fire, but we have to remember here that all the Plague Marines are core units, and there are plenty of buffs included in the list to improve this. This is just the baseline damage across the typical 31 targets I'm modeling. But in this list, we have reroll 1s, we have exploding 6s from the Tollkeeper, +1 to hit from the Taliban. We can make better grenades with Biologus Putrefier. We can make rerolls to wound with the Arch Contaminator, and we can deal mortal wounds in melee with the Biologus Putrefier. Looking then at the durability, and again, not buffed, just baseline, just looking at number of wounds that we are putting on the table. So we don't have any, basically we have very few units with invul save in this list. It's the dark blue color, so we don't have anything basically with toughness 8. We only have something with toughness 7, the rhinos, but they are lacking disgusting resilience. So those the Chaos Rhinos are a bit weak, of course. Then we have a lot of contagion with some invul saves. And here we have the vast majority of all the wounds is the toughness 5, with disgusting resilience and 3+ save. And hopefully we can make a lot of those have a 6+ feel no pain with a surgeon, but we are putting 120 wounds on the table here for the enemy to approach. And the army presents quite a uniform target apart from the rhinos. And hopefully at least some of the enemy weapons will not be very effective shooting at the Plague Marines, for example, multi-meltas maybe. Yeah, they still hurt, but maybe they are not the best use if we had some very expensive vehicles or something like this. Or, of course, lower strength than 5 weapons are not very efficient against our Plague Marines. And then, of course, we have the Plague Surgeon with a Feel No Pain, Miasma and Putrescent Vitality to increase the durability of the army further. Now, reaching to the conclusions of this video, so I think it's quite easy to modify this list to be more balanced. As I said, sometimes for exaggerating makes for more interesting lists. But of course, if you want something more balanced, maybe more usable on the table, of course, just removing one squad from 7 to 6, you free up 2 to 3 command points from the extra detachment. You can also remove some HQ choices and one of the squads, so then you create room for adding anti-vehicle support like a Plague Burst Crawler or Mephitic Blight Holders. If you also want to reduce the squads down to 5 men instead of 7 men each, would free up additional points for other supplemental units, adding more fire support units. You can add also fast attack units, etc., and make a more balanced list, but still keeping, let's say, the core of the army being Plague Marines. So, reaching to the summary and final thoughts. So in this video, I've been reviewing thematic Plague Marine heavy lists with 7x7 Plague Marines, probably the Nurgliest of the of the Nurgles list. 49 models with objective secure and ability to perform actions for secondary scoring could be quite good. You need to take 2 battalions or 1 battalion, 1 patrol to fill the 7x7 Plague Marines to fit the theme. Of course, as I said, you can easily modify the list to be more, let's say, easier to, more competitive by this. And I think Virion characters as force multipliers for ranged melee and durability are probably good with a Plague Marine heavy list, multiplying the effect of the already versatile and quite strong Plague Marines. And of course, it's a big pity that we can't give invul saves to Plague Marines. This would have been a very interesting list with so many bodies if we could have the previous Noxious Blightbringer with a Demon's Toll giving them a 5+ invul save, then this list would probably be even, that would be a very strong list. But all in all, Plague Marines heavy and thematic list for some good games, I would assume. So this concludes the video. What do you think about this list? And have you tried playing with a lot of Plague Marines? Normally in my games, I typically bring 2-3 units of Plague Marines. I haven't tried to have 4, 5, 6 units of Plague Marines, but I think they always seem to do a lot of damage. But of course, the durability is not as strong as Terminators. If you like this video, please press like and subscribe to the channel, where I will bring you more videos on Death Card tactics, list reviews, and Math Hammer videos about various Warhammer units. And if you want to support my efforts further and contribute in caps with ideas to videos, please visit my Patreon page, patreon.com General Yanis. And with these words, General Yanis is signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.